In this video, I want to talk to you about the most underrated piece of equipment in the gym. This one piece of equipment can help you clean up your technique on exercises you struggle with, strengthen lagging muscle groups, and train around injuries so that you can keep making progress. I'm talking about the spotter arms, also known as the safety pins. Now, most people just use these to help them stay safe when they're doing squats, but not a lot of people know that you can use these to do variations of exercises called pin exercises. Pin squats, pin bench press, pin overhead press, pin good mornings, etc. So during a pin exercise, you lower the barbell to the safety pins, come to a dead stop, and then perform the lifting or the concentric phase of the movement as normal. So on the surface, it doesn't really look like there's much to it, but there's so much value to these. The number one thing that I use these for with myself and my clients is to improve exercise technique. There's a lot of people out there who have trouble with their squat, bench press, overhead press, etc., and they often injure themselves when they do these. They always have trouble during that transition from the eccentric to the concentric. That's the most challenging and the most important part of the movement. This moment in all these lifts is where injuries frequently occur. People hurt their back during squats, or their shoulder during bench press, or maybe their neck during overhead press at this crucial portion of the movement. So what pin variations of these movements do is that they take away all the momentum. So now you won't be able to use the stretch reflex in order to lift the weight. So what this is going to do is it's going to force you to find the perfect path to push the weight up. Because if your technique is off, you're either not going to be able to lift it, or you're going to feel right away that something is wrong, like the path of the bar just won't feel right. So what I recommend doing is that whatever exercise you're struggling with, whether it's squat, bench, overhead press, good morning, you either completely stop doing the normal variation and just do the pin variation, or you train the movement twice per week and do one day with the normal version and one day with the pin version. So for example, in my own squat training, I'm currently doing front squats on my first leg day and then pin back squats on my second leg day. So that's how you might use these exercises to improve your exercise technique. The other major thing that I like using pin exercises for is training around injuries. So this is where playing with the height of the pins comes into play. So let's say your knee hurts. You can only squat to about 90 degrees without pain. But if you try to squat any lower than that, that's when you get the pain. So what we can do in that situation is we can set the pins so that your squat depth ends once your knees hit about 90 degrees. So what you can then do is you could work at that depth for a little while, could be a few weeks, could be a few months, it's just gonna depend on how you adapt to it. And then to track your progress during that time, you'd wanna write everything down meticulously in your notes. So let's say you put the pins on level 27. So you would write that in your notes as pin squat, parentheses 27, with 135 pounds for 5 sets of 5, let's say, if that's what you're doing. And then once your knee is feeling a little better, a little stronger, you would go down one notch. So then you would write it in your notes as pin squat, parentheses 26, with 135 for 5 sets of 5. So even though they're very similar, you would want to treat them as different exercises and be very open-minded about what weight you use for that new progression. So you might not be using the same weight with level 26 as you would with level 27. You might have to go down a bit because it's more range of motion that your knee might not be used to yet. So you can use this concept for any of the variations. If you're getting pain in your low back when doing deadlifts, you can put the bar on the spotter arms and then do rack pulls. So myself, I'm using it with behind the neck press right now to improve my range of motion. I can't quite get the bar all the way down to touch my traps, so I set the pins to about ear level and then I'm doing the movement that way. So once I decide to make the jump in range of motion, I'll set the pins one notch lower and then I'll restart my progression there with lower weight. So that's it, guys. I hope now you see the immense value that pin exercises have to offer you in your lifting program. So I hope you got a lot out of this video. If you made it this far, please like the video. It really helps me out. And if you like this type of content that makes your experience in the gym better and helps you get better results than you're getting right now, please subscribe. I'll be putting out a lot more videos like this. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.